So I was a student of IIT Kharagpur and I had completed my BTech degree in computer science and engineering. Working at Amazon made me feel like that there is a whole lot to conquer outside just of this small sphere that we keep ourselves in. And I thought, why not try to lead at such an organization which can make a huge impact in the lives of millions of people? And my only concern was whether my profile was a good fit for the deferred MBA programs, because I was told it is a very hard competition, or a very hard race to get crack into. Having a talk with you and then later with Rajiv, I was assured, and Rajiv said this, which I quote: "We only take people and we only coach them in whom we see the qualities that they are ready to take on board."
Hey Kaushal, how are you today?
Hi, Presh, I'm good. How are you?
You're not just good, man. You're at the top of the world, I would say, given the admit that you have. So let's just dive right into that because that is what we are here for, to hear your journey to getting that coveted deferred MBA admit from Wharton. So tell us a little bit, Kaushal, about yourself. Let's just start with a quick introduction about you, your academic background, and who you were before you became an MBA aspirant.
Right. So I was a student of IIT Kharagpur and I had completed my BTech degree in computer science and engineering. In my college, I had like taken some technical aspects or technical roles. I had also completed various volunteering exercises, including National Service Scheme, and been a part of the NGOs like Lions Club of Bombay West. I was also a part of the Student Senate at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, where we planned out all the activities that students used to engage in.
Okay, and that's a little bit of your extracurriculars, of course. But tell us a little bit more in terms of your overall thought process now that you were a technology student, you and that too at an IIT, you could have taken any path you wanted post graduation. What made you think about an MBA in the first place? Consider as a next step in your journey.
Right. So during my third year, I had my intern at Amazon India, wherein I interacted with people from all over the world. During my high school, I had interacted with people from all over Mumbai, then leading to IIT, where I talked to people all over India, and then Amazon made me just step up the level. And now I'll be working at Amazon for the next 2 to 3 years after my graduation. And working at Amazon made me feel like that there is a whole lot to conquer outside just of this small sphere that we keep ourselves in. And I thought, why not try to lead at such an organization which can make a huge impact in the lives of millions of people? And this led me to realize that I should pursue a degree, an MBA, which would enable me to have the tools and the correct skill set and the network that will allow me to make such an impact.
Super. So I think network is really, really critical. I think the fact that you were at Amazon, have got to interact with a lot of people, exposed you to understand some of the nuances of the business. So walk us through what you did at Amazon during that internship. What made you realize that business and learnings around how to work in larger enterprise, not just on technology aspects as well, were critical for your growth. So walk us through that internship a little bit and decision to hence that further got solidified to take this leap for an MBA.
My internship was give or take 8 weeks, and during those 8 weeks, I was given two tasks which I had to build from scratch. Now there are leadership principles that Amazon strictly adheres to. One of them being ownership, and the other being customer obsession. And they really stick to that. And they told me that from day one, I am the owner of my products. I'll have to look out for them and squash all the bugs, take ownership. Also, like lay out future plans for them. And this really motivated me as to like I can own a complete product inside an organization which is huge enough. Also, keeping this aspect aside, there were off-site meetings wherein people from Seattle flew in all the way to Bangalore, and we had a talk for, let's say, a week or so, where we had sessions, brainstorming sessions. We talked about how to improve the customer journey in the application of Amazon, and they also gave their life experiences, like how they were helped with their network and how business schools helped them reach this level of their career. And one of the managers of mine had completed a pathways internship program at Amazon, which is one of the top rotational leadership programs that hire right out of MBA. And all of this combined motivated me to pursue an MBA after my internship.
And so are you going to be part of this Pathways program as well? Then go back to Amazon. Are you going back to Amazon first of all?
So that's all in the future, but I do hope to go back to Amazon. I have a long term vision of joining the Pathways program, which will be a 5 year program and then culminate into a top management role like a vice president or a director at Amazon. And that like aligns with my goal of being a top senior executive at at a tech firm, which will allow me to lead a project that will impact millions of people.
All right. So coming back here, when you came to us, and was nearly 7 to 8 months ago, remember the first conversation was mostly around whether your profile and is an MBA the right goal, is that profile a fit? And I remember you had already taken your GMAT at that point. You had about a 720 on that, right? So I think tell the audience maybe what we told you at that point, your chances about your profile, about what was our assessment, and after that assessment, what made you kind of enroll with us to take this journey forward in applying to all these different MBAs.
So, Priyash, I remember coming to see you in the Mumbai branch, and my only concern was whether my profile was a good fit for the deferred MBA programs, because I was told it is a very hard competition or a very hard race to get crack into. And the things that I heard from you were a little comforting, but also made me a little tense, because you said that this is a race like I was also there with my brother, and you told my brother that your race is to get the scholarship, but my race is to get the admit. So my admit was one of the most difficult things that I was like running to secure. But having a talk with you and then later with Rajiv, I was assured, and Rajiv said this, which I quote: "We only take people and we only coach them in whom we see the qualities that they are ready to take the leadership and they are ready to like grow along with us." And I was comforted with those words, and I thought that yes, LilacBuds is the right fit for me. Also, one of my friends said that I am like giving you the contact of LilacBuds because I think that LilacBuds has the greatest of connections with the people, a good number of admits, all of these combined, and the meetings with you really gave me the confidence that I required, and that's the reason why I went forward with LilacBuds.
So over the last 7 months, you've done like tons of meetings with us. Like probably tell us what were a few highlights from some of these many meetings that we've done, especially with Rajiv. We've done like many of them. Give me like 2 or 3 anecdotal examples that really stuck with you, that made you feel like yes, I can get here, right? Like it's a very complex journey. It's a very emotional journey. You are a younger professional. You know, not even a professional. You're very not even started your real professional journey, if I was to call it that. Very early in your career to start thinking about an MBA. Most people who come to us would be 5 to 6 years of experience. Tell me what kept you going. What were these 2 or 3 experiences that you can share with us that would have stuck with you for these last 7 months?
So one of the experiences I remember with Rajiv is that I gave him an essay to have a review of, and he said that first you will correct this essay completely, only then I'll go through it. Like first you will incorporate your story. Otherwise, what I remember people telling me that the consultants do is they do not take the story in, they do not know the person inside out, and they just like churn out an essay for the person to like send to their applications. But this is not what Rajiv did. He told me that first we'll sit for 2 weeks and we'll write out your story and then iron out the wrinkles, and then we'll move on to the next part. Also, there was a point when when I had like scored 720 in GMAT, I called Rajiv up and he said that this score is a little bit too low. If possible, try for a higher score. Otherwise, we'll still fight for you, because like we only take people that we believe in, and I believe in you, and I sincerely believe that you can crack into the admits. This was the main line that kept me motivated. Like Rajiv believed in me, and that is why he was like giving a personal touch to my applications.
Cool. Okay. And that was just on the what was the journey like on the shortlisting side? Because that would have been complex with picking the right programs. 720, of course, tough, but leave the 720 aside. Your academic scores at IIT were good. You had an Amazon internship, things that were in your favor. Now came the shortlisting, right? Like there are so many programs. Why did you apply to the programs that you chose to apply? So maybe you can just start with telling us how many programs you applied to, name a few of them, and give us context into what went into the selection of those programs.
I remember applying to around 11, 12 programs out of the 20 to 25 deferred MBA programs that are out there. Now, like the boat that I was trying to sail into was getting into the top of the top programs right now. Otherwise, I had the 2 to 3 years down the line to prepare and apply again. That is why I chose the most competitive schools. And Rajiv had said that why not? Why try for the lower schools when you have the chance to apply for them 2 to 3 years down the line? Just for being on the safer side, we had chosen Darden and ISB. Otherwise, the schools that we had taken were Harvard, Wharton, Stanford, Kellogg, and Columbia, and similar schools.
And for you to then pick those schools and actually go ahead with them, did you have doubts? Like, did you doubt yourself that you will be able to get into these schools? Having spoken
Every
to
day.
some of the alums, you doubted yourself every day. Okay, that's good. That's because that self-doubt, how to conquer that self-doubt is the most important element. It's not just somebody believes in you. Of course, that is one. But what did you tell yourself, right? That's very important, right? It's not just the fact that we believed in you. We were, of course, coaches and mentors along the way. What is it that you told yourself to stay motivated in this whole journey of self-doubt? Because deferred MBA has such a small shot at getting in. Number of seats are so few, and many applicants who come to us, there are very amazing profiles who are all competing for this coveted slot that's available. What was it that you were telling yourself through the whole application?
So all the time when I was applying to the applications, going through the schools, reading information about the different programs that those schools offered, I also went through Reddit and Quora and different blogging websites where people shared their experiences, their profiles and stats and everything. And I saw how far like below I was as compared to them in their as with respect to their academics, because I had a GPA of 3.67. They had a GPA of 4. Some people even greater than 4 on a scale of 4, and they had a GMAT of 790. Still, they were rejected, and this made me always doubt myself that if they were rejected, how can I go into this? But the hope of getting an admit, thinking that if I receive an admit, this will very likely change the course of my life, and that hope kept me like fighting for my application, along with the constant motivation provided by my friends, my parents, and the support provided by LilacBuds.
Thank you so much for that. So moving on, right, Rajiv, you connected with him so many times on calls. What was the experience using, communicating, connecting with him, the ease of using our portal for writing over, sharing your material, the quick to and fro's? Give us your experience of actually the infrastructure that was set up to support you in the application journey, including the essays and interviews written.
I would say Rajiv was not just a coach from LilacBuds, he was a personal mentor to me. And from the day one, it was not like he was just there to do his job. It was like he was there to support me emotionally and also along with the application, starting from day one to the day that I had secured my application. And I think he's still here for me every day after my application has completed too. And during my application there was many processes that we took on. So for example, for writing the essays and applications, we use the LilacBuds portal for the interactive document editing. For the Kira platform, where the video interview is taken place using an AI questionnaire, he referred me to Karan, and Karan helped me out in the Kira assessment. And during the final submission days, he used to review my complete application point by point and then finally give me a go ahead to submit my application. So I would say the help was not on a singular essay or on the video interviews or on any TBD or on any single point, but on the complete application, consisting of every aspect of the application, I would say.
Okay. When you got, so let's talk the journey, right? You got, tell me in terms of order in which you got your rejects upfront, right? So because you first started with getting a few regret messages from the school that you applied to, and then when you got the interview call, right? So tell us about that what we call the order of chaos, if I was to call it that. In what order did the chaos unfold until it started smoothing things out?
Right. So I had, as I said, I applied to 12 colleges, out of which I received the next steps for 4 of them. And the 4 of them were Kellogg, ISB, Wharton, and Darden. Other colleges rejected me left and right. So as you can imagine, 8 colleges rejecting me every day. Almost every day, other day I would receive a mail that sorry for the message, we cannot give you an interview, we cannot give you the admission, and so forth and so on and so forth. But like, although my motivation did take a hit, the few hopes like came in via the emails and the updates to the portal saying that you are selected for the interview, you have been given a chance to the next round. Firstly, I believe I got the interview call from Darden, and the Darden interview was scheduled, I believe, 2 months before. And after giving the interview, I was quite sure that I would get in because the interview went super well. After that, I received a next stage invite for ISB, and then came the dates for the interview invites rollouts for Kellogg and Wharton. And as like one would like know, key Kellogg usually interviews almost all of its applicants, but I did not receive my interview invite stating that you are being considered for our admission, but we are so not able to give you an interview. And finally came out Wharton saying that you have been selected for a TBD. Now, after my Wharton TBD invite, I received the rejection from Darden, which really hit me hard because it was one of my safety schools and one of the schools where my interviews went really well.
Yes.
So I talked to Rajiv regarding that, and he said that forget it. We have a lot on our plate right now. Let's focus on that. And he told me to focus on the TBD of Wharton because that's what I had going right now. And I took his advice, prepared for the TBD for 2 whole weeks, and prepared very hard, and finally gave the TBD. After my Wharton's TBD, I received rejections from Kellogg, and then follow the next day I received my acceptance from Wharton, and that was it. Like, I was just over the moon. I forgot every rejection, I forgot everything, and just was like celebrated with my parents.
So again, I mean, what was the feeling? I mean, did you automatically in your mind think that ye to reject hi hai when you were opening that email, or did the email read congratulations right out of the bat? What was the feeling for you?
All of the emails, when they used to reject you, when they have the title up, an update has been posted to your application portal, and when they give you an invite to the next stage or an admit, they send a separate email stating that congratulations or welcome. And I had caught on to this pattern and was very much accustomed to like hearing an update to your portal, and I was expecting the same from Wharton. But as soon as I opened my mail and read the word welcome, like, I could not believe myself. And then I opened the mail, read the mail, opened the decision letter, read it again, went back to the mail to just confirm my name, and then finally I was like, sure, yes, I have received the admit.
And then whom did you call first, right? Like, what time was it? How did you inform your family about all this?
It was at 9 o'clock that I received the admit. I was in my room, like I usually open my mail in 30 minutes. I saw the mail. I ran out to my father, like hugged him, told him that I received the admit. Everyone, my mother was also there, my grandparents were also there, and we celebrated for 5 to 10 minutes. Like, everyone was happy, everyone congratulated me. And then the first call I made was to Rajiv, because he was the only, like, one of the most involved persons in my applications, and he was the person that I wanted to tell the most that I've secured it, because he had seen me at my lows and my highs during my application. And it gave me immense pleasure to hear the voice of joy on the other side of the phone.
Super. I mean, he was over the moon. Like, he couldn't stop talking about it. I think you must have informed it at 9:30, as you said. And we internally, of course, all of us got to know about the great news just in minutes after that, because he was also. But coming back, TBD, like, let's take that step back, right? How did you prepare for the TBD? Because that's a very interesting format. What to do, what not to do. Future Wharton MBA applicants, they would love to know what it takes to really succeed in a TBD, right? What were the tips you got? How did you implement those tips? And what was your TBD experience?
The TBD stands for team-based discussion, and it is a discussion between 6 people. It is reminiscent of what Wharton does in its first year, wherein most of the projects are done with a team of 6, collaboration being the key. And this TBD consists of a problem statement that is given to the people 15 to 20 days before the actual date of the interview. And we are given 20 days to prepare a 1-minute pitch that we have to say in front of the adcom and the 6 people. And then after everyone states out their pitch, we come to a 25-minute time frame where we discuss the problem statement and then collectively give an answer to the adcom stating that yes, we have decided the answer to this. The problem statement during my TPD was rephrase how the GIP program of Wharton actually works. GIP being the Global Immersion Program, and it was a really fun thing to work upon. And I also talked to a few Wharton alumni who had done the GIP, and a friend of mine who was going to Wharton. So the best advice I got from them was form a group with all of the TBD app invitees and then practice with them before going for the TBD itself. And how to find those TBD applicants? We can go to Reddit, Quora, and other platforms, and there are threads where usually people hang around and like talk about the invites and admits. And I found a group for the Wharton TBD invites.
Super. All right. And then with them, you got a chance to practice this.
Yes.
Of course, you didn't practice this specific question, but very important point that you touched upon, which I want to kind of also let you elaborate a little bit, is this connecting with alums and connecting with people at the various programs you applied to truly understand what it is to be a cohort member at these MBA schools. So what was your learnings from interacting with these alums? How many did you reach out to? How many responded to you? Not everybody, of course, responds.
Right.
You got to cast a wide net. And then when they give you time, what was your interaction like with them? Maybe if you can touch upon on a few of these again, as aspirants who are looking in the future, review this video, they would want to know, what worked for you.
Right. So I contacted 4 alums. Actually, one was yet to start their time at Wharton, and 3 had completed or were in the process of completing their time at Wharton. And the person who had not started, they were from my college, IIT Kharagpur itself. So I was familiar with them. I had talked to them before too. And the advice that this specific person gave me was to connect with as many people who were invited for the TBD discussion and contact them and have mock interview sessions with them. The other 3 alums had connected over LinkedIn. I searched for the word GIP on LinkedIn and saw how many people had gone to GIP on Wharton, found a lot of people. I contacted 3 of them. 2 replied, 1 did not, and out of the 2 I got a good advice between the locations that I wanted to choose for the GIP program, and this led me to reflect as to whether I should go with my initial plan or the final. Then after a whole lot of discussion with the alum and also thinking by myself, I chose to stick to my initial plan. But the insights that the alumni gave me were really helpful for deciding the final location and the pointers.
And that was not just Wharton, right? You must have interacted with people from other schools. What were those schools?
So for ISB, I had talked to a professor at ISB. He was also my mentor for 4 years. For Darden, there was this professor, and I had connected with him a few years ago. And for another school, Harvard, Harvard, there was a friend who had gone to Harvard in his bachelor's, so I had talked to him.
Okay, that's cool. So you did interact with a lot of different students there. Coming into the admit stage, right? Now you are ready you're going to join the program in 2 to 3 years from now. They've given you that flexibility. What is the flexibility that's been offered to you? What is Harvard? Did you interact with anybody from the admissions team at Harvard? What is it that they expect from you in these next 2 to 3 years? Is there any conditions on your admit? If there are no conditions, what are they hoping for you to become professionally? What kind of mentoring will they provide? What kind of support will they provide for these next 2 to 3 years before you enter the cohort? So just give us an overview about all the things that you heard post your admit from Wharton.
Right. So the only condition which I read was that you cannot apply to any other school if you want to retain this admit to Wharton. If you want to apply to other schools, then you'll have to forfeit it. Even after 2 years, if I have paid my retention fees, I'll have to forfeit my admit to Wharton to apply to other schools. The support and the network that I'll be building during my 2 to 3 years while working with Wharton will be primarily using the Slack channel that the invite for which they'll soon send over mail. And this Slack channel will contain all of the people who have been granted admission for the MOLS Advanced Access cohort for the year of 2023. And also this channel will be used to relay out information regarding their various programs and their webinars and everything that they're going to host. Also, a few benefits that I recall Wharton giving to the MOLS cohort will be access to great insightful seminars by leading personalities of the world, and a few invites and all expenses paid invites to the Wharton campus for few of these seminars. Key benefit of a deferred MBA program is that you secure the admit 2 to 3 years before you actually go to the college, and this gives you the flexibility to pursue whatever you want and learn a whole lot of things rather than focusing on building a profile and going for the normal route. So Wharton expects the same. It expects you to take risks. It expects you to go to different fields or different opportunities that you wanted to, but were scared of applying to, thinking you might fail. But you have a safety net now. So this is what I am also planning in the future. I'll try out my time at Amazon, and I'll also try to look out for different opportunities in the fields of management and consulting, wherein I'll get to learn a whole lot of things and then apply all of the things that I've learned at my time during my time at Wharton and get the most out of it.
Cool. What were the goals that you finally end up telling to the programs in your essays? What was the goal? How did you reach to the goal clarity that you wanted to kind of project or present as part of your essay?
When I started this journey, I was not really sure about what my final goal was. I was sure that I wanted to work at a tech company because that is what I had known for a long time. And I was sure that I wanted to go into the management space. But the specifics of the goal were told to me by Rajiv, like not exactly told or handed down. He told me to reflect upon a variety of opportunities that are available after the MBA. And then finally, after going through everything, we circled down to a singular goal, which was to, like, just post MBA, I wanted to work for the top rotational leadership programs, which I talked about earlier. And they are a 5-year or a 4-year program at leading tech companies, wherein we work and learn a lot about the internal workings of the company, their culture and everything. And then finally we end up at the top management for that company. So I also told this goal to all of the MBA schools that I had applied, and then they asked that what will you be doing for the next 2 to 3 years to achieve this goal. And my answer to that was that I'll be working at the company Amazon to understand the inner workings from the start, so that I'll have an edge over the other applicants, and also a good understanding of how a huge tech company is handled from the scratch. Like I'll be the most like I'll be a fresher at the company, looking the company from the bottom, and trying to understand how this company has been built up from the ground.
Okay, cool. So I think that kind of summarizes or wraps up all the major questions we have. If you had to leave a word of advice for future, actually, maybe I have one more question. I'm going to ask this, right? Is what was it that you told your friends after you got the admit? Because telling your cohort, telling your people back at IIT that you made it into Wharton deferred MBA is like a massive news. What happened when you announced this to your friends and to your faculty back at IIT?
I had a few friends who were constantly in touch with me regarding this process, and they were too close to me. So every day they would ask, "What's the result for this? What's the result for that?" And usually I used to tell them that no, I did not get it. I did not get it. I did not get it. And then finally, when I heard back from Wharton, I called them and they were overjoyed. And they said that finally all of your efforts have paid off. And I was like, yes, they have finally. And after getting the admit, it was popularized among the people of my college, and a few of my juniors and even seniors that at my college like pinged me and asked me how to prepare for it, how did you do it, if any consultant, please let us know. And also they were talking about the specifics of my profile, my GMAT score and my GPA, and I told them everything, every aspect of my journey that I went through, and I told them that you have LilacBuds whom you can talk to and think about applying to.
Thank you so much for the kind words. So I think that probably summarizes everything that we would love to know from you, Kaushal. Thank you so much for taking the time. Wishing you the best for the next 2 years as you get ready to get to Wharton eventually at that point. We will, of course, be keeping in touch with you. Rajiv will always be a friend and a guide for you as when you need him. And can't wait to see your pictures on the Wharton campus at a later stage, attending these events, being part of the cohort, sharing pictures. And, thank you for placing your trust in us, Kaushal, once again. And best of luck.
Thank you so much, Priyesh. I would also like to thank Rajiv for all the help that he provided to me. I like words cannot thank him enough. The emotion that he had showed after receiving my admit, I think that was enough for me. I like finally received what I had been working for the past 4 years, and that was like a dream come true for me, which I'm really thankful for the from the entire team of LilacBuds helped me achieve that goal. Thank you so much, Priyesh.
Cool. Welcome. All right. Bye bye. Thank you, Kaushal.
Thank you, Priyesh.